All right, welcome to this video. We're going to learn how to build this website, the art class, where they do a lot of things with colored pencils and paper. Anyway, we're going to learn the basics of HTML and CSS to build this. We'll see what HTML and CSS are and how they tell the browser how to display a web page. The video, in the description of the video, should be a link to some starting files that'll help us. So if you've taken that link, it should take you here. There's some images here. There's a screenshot of what the final website should look like, some notes and the text content, so we don't have to type everything if we don't want to. Okay, so to get this information, we're just going to hit the big green button, clone or download, and we'll download a zip file. That should show up down here. Wonderful. I'm just going to say show in folder. And now this zip file is compressed. If we click inside of it, there is the unzipped folder with all the files that we want inside of it. So what I usually do is just open up another one. You can go right-click File Explorer and open up another Windows Explorer. I already have one open. This is where I have the completed version of this assignment already, or this demo already. And I'm just going to copy and paste, or sorry, just drag that over here, which copies it into this folder. And that should now have all of the files on my local computer. Okay, so this is using GitHub. GitHub's a nice place where you can have these repositories of files to share easily. Okay, let's close that now. Let's go back to, well, let's close this one, our downloads. Let's go back to here where we've got this art class demo master. And let's open up the screenshot, which is just a wonderful image of the website that I already demoed for you. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to break this up, because what we need to do when we make a web page is we use something called HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. And basically it has these codes in it, or these markup codes that tell the browser what the elements of the page should be, that this should be a heading, that this is a paragraph, that this is a list, and the browser then knows how to display that. So I'm just going to grab a pen here, and we're going to try to mark up this picture into the different HTML components that can be used. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to take a little screenshot here, screen sketch, and I should now be able to draw on this. And the entire web page itself, there is an HTML tag called body, and that's basically the body, the visible content of your web page. This white section here, right? So the body has a background of this lined paper, but this white section here is most likely a div. Divs are used kind of as containers for elements. And inside of that div, we've got some headings. This right here would be like a level 1 heading, H1. And the supply list here would be a level 2 heading. And the art links would also be a level 2 heading. There's also level 3 headings and level 4 headings, etc. But we don't go that deep in this assignment. Okay, so we've got our body, we've got inside of the body there's this main div, and inside of the div we've got H1s. This is IMG for image tag. This looks like a paragraph. Then this little line is a horizontal rule, HR, horizontal rule. This right here looks like another paragraph. Then we've got an unordered list. Here's another paragraph. And then these 3 images here, because they're on a new line, I believe that's also another paragraph. And inside of that paragraph, we have these image tags, right? The 3 images. And then another HR at the bottom. Okay? So HTML is all about these angled brackets and these tags that tell the browser what the content should be. So I'm going to save this now so that we can have this as a reference. Let's go here, save, and I'm going to go find the place where I saved this stuff, web development, art class demo master right here. And let's just call this markup sketch.png. Right, it's a sketch of the markup that we need to use. Okay, so now how do we actually get started here? I'm going to close this now. Let's open up. We've got this image now. Let's open this one up and close this one because this will be useful to us. All right. Now, where do I actually write my code? So what I usually do is we need an editor. We need an HTML document to put our HTML, and we need a CSS document to do our styles. We'll talk about that more later. And the editor that I usually use, I don't use like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. There's special editors out there that work well for coding. One of them I like to use is Visual Studio Code, which I have a shortcut here. Oh, there we go. So if you just search Visual Studio Code, it should be installed on the machines. If it's not, just Google search Visual Studio Code, and it's a free download. Okay. So I'm going to open this up, and it's got the finished version here already. I'll just close that for a second. So if I click on this, this is kind of my Windows Explorer. There's nothing open. So usually what I like to do is each web page has a project folder because it has multiple files in it. So I'm just going to use this folder here with all that stuff in it. And I'm just going to drag this into the open white space here. And that should open it now in Visual Studio Code as a project. Here's my project folder. And it's got all the images that I need for the project. It's got that sketch and the markup sketch, which we've already looked at. And it's got some style notes here, telling me kind of some of the sizes of things, the fonts that are used, so that'll come in handy. And it has just the basic text content. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to make a file. I'm going to make a new file here called index.html. I could call it whatever I want, but index is the commonly used name for a home page, our start page. And then the .html tells the browser and tells Visual Studio Code that this is an HTML document. Okay, so HTML has a certain page structure, and it represents the visual content of the page. So we start off with this exclamation mark doc type HTML. And that's just the first line that tells the browser, hey, when I open this file, this is an HTML document. All right. And then we have an HTML. It auto-completes. This is a start tag and an end tag. And all of my HTML code should go in between this start tag and this end tag. It even gives me a little description. The root of an HTML document. Inside of an HTML document, we usually have a head, one head. And beneath the head, we have a body, one body. Okay, so let's separate these a little bit better. A head and a body. The body is where we put all the visible content. And the head is where we put stuff, information about the website. So for example, I could have a title that would show up in searches, right? Google search for it, and it'll show this title. And we'll call this the art class. And then also the head is where we can link to our style sheet and load fonts and do things like that. In the body is our visible content. And that's where we can start marking up things like, oh, I know I wanted a div. Right? Inside of my body, I want this big div. Where's that picture? Right? My body is going to have a background, and then this div is going to be this white container that has the stuff, the H1 inside of it in the image, etc. Okay. And let's just do that. Let's add an H1, the art class. All right, save. Okay, so that's great. We're typing this weird-looking HTML code, but how do I actually open it? Well, if we go into here, you'll notice that that index.html has the Chrome symbol by it. That's the default browser on my computer. So when I double-click on this, it should open the file in Google Chrome. File, F drive, blah, 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 index.html. And we can see the title is the art class, and here's my H1. Right, so the title, the browser uses the title of my web page to display as the tab text. And then this is the visible content, which is inside of my body, the H1, which is inside of the div. All right, cool. Okay, and then let's start adding more content. Where's that picture again? After the H1, there was supposed to be an image. All right, so image tags are IMG tags like that. They don't have a start and an end tag because there's nothing that goes in between. But inside of the start tag, I do a source. And I'm going to look inside of the images folder. So I type images / and I can choose the images here, and I believe I want the colored pencils. Let's save that. Go back to my browser and hit refresh. And now I've got the art class with some colored pencils. Hooray! Okay, let's keep adding content. Next up is a paragraph. Welcome to art class. Okay, paragraph, and instead of typing it all, I've got it right here in my text content. Copy, go back to here and paste. All right, and then after the paragraph was an HR, that horizontal rule. What's next? Paragraph, HR, and then I need an H2 that says supply list. Cool. H2 supply list. And then underneath that, I think there was a paragraph. Oops. Paragraph, please bring the following supplies to class. Wonderful. That's right. Oops, that's right here. Just switch tabs. After my paragraph, I've got an unordered list, and inside of an unordered list are list items. So pencils, list item, colored pencils, another list item, paper, another list item, extra colored pencils. I think that was right. This art class really focuses on colored pencils. Okay, so we've got a paragraph, our HR, our H2, a paragraph, and this list, another HR. Oops, let's go to the picture. What's next? Another heading, a level 2 heading, art links. So you can see that like this HTML, it's just marking up the content to let the browser know, oh, this is supposed to be a list, this is supposed to be an image, this is supposed to be a paragraph. And the browser kind of has some default styles that it does, and we're going to learn how to control those styles more in a little bit. Let's just finish off the content first. So art links, each image below is a link to an artistic resource. Okay, so that's a paragraph. Actually, let's be smart and just copy and paste again. There it is, copy and paste. And then I had another paragraph, and in here I want to have those images. And the first, I don't know if the order matters, but art gallery, art council, and foundation for the arts. So we'll go /, and it gives me, it's cool, it gives me a little list of what's here. So we'll go art gallery, like so. Images / I think it was in the arts council. Image source equals images / foundation for the arts. And I think after this we had a final HR. And we go back here, and now, ta-da! And I can close this. Okay, so this is HTML. Index.html, we've got this page structure where there's the declaration, the HTML start and end tag, a head, and a body that goes inside the HTML. Inside my body, I've got this one big div, which we haven't really used yet, but we'll use that for styling later. Our main heading, an image, paragraphs, HRs, H2s, right? All of these tags are just markup that tell the browser what kind of content it's working with. Okay? All right. I'm going to stop the video here. I got a max of 15 minutes, and I'm almost there. In the next video, we'll add style to this so that we can control colors and fonts and the layout of where things go, background images, all that fun stuff. Okay, hope this is making sense so far. If you've been following along, you should have, in the video description, gotten this download link to download the zip folder and followed along with me. And hopefully everything went all right. Okay, that's all for now. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.